Okay, so welcome to a very special episode of Gallifrey Pirate Radio. I don't know if it's any more special than any other episode, but it's a very exciting episode of Gallifrey Pirate Radio.
We're excited.
Very excited. And I think just about every Whovian out there that is a Whovian is just as excited as we are. To begin with, I am your host, David Beauchamp, and I'm joined by my amazing co-host,
Drew Meyer.
And we're here to talk about the Night of the Doctor.
The Night of the Doctor. Yeah. So, last night we got a couple of teaser pictures that came out. Did a little bit of research, did some comparing, contrasting, got really excited. It's not supposed to happen until tomorrow night. And then this morning we got
Night of the Doctor.
A 7.5 minute long. Now, they call it a prequel, but that is not the case, because in order to be a prequel, the one that it comes before is supposed to already come out, but the 50th hasn't come out yet, so it is a prelude, even though it's called a prequel. I'm sorry, I'm being pedantic, but that's just how it is.
Oh, it's fine, because it was absolutely amazing.
Amazing!
But before we get any further, I think we should say 2 happy birthday wishes out there, just throwing it out there. One to Paul McGann, strangely enough, it's his birthday today, so I think it's kind of a nice little, I think that could be why they released it a day early. They're like, oh look, it's McGann's birthday. This is perfect.
By the way, just in case you're watching this and you haven't seen The Night of the Doctor,
watch
away from the computer, watch Night of the Doctor, because there will be some spoilers. And the next birthday is
for Stephanie. She is one of our avid viewers of GPR, and we figured we'd give you a little shout out and say happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Yes.
You share a birthday with the star of Night of the Doctor. So
you had an amazing birthday. Not only did we get Night of the Doctor, you shared with Paul McGann. You also got Adventures in Space and Time teaser. I mean, it's amazing. But let's get to Night of the Doctor.
All right.
Oh my God.
So here we go. If nothing else, we have Paul McGann. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul McGann is canon. And admittedly, we saw his picture before, but that really...
Well, we did get a teaser in Day of the Doctor. Or, I mean, the Name of the Doctor. We saw his back running.
Oh, sure, but we see pictures and other things.
Yeah,
but you see his back, you didn't see him.
Right.
And, the complaint was, hey, McGann's still young enough to actually physically show up, or why don't you do it? And if you go back, and please do go back and watch the old episodes, you will see that I'm pretty sure that the three of us were in agreement that the one thing we really, 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 really wanted to see in the 50th anniversary was a reference to, or if not, actually physically seeing Paul McGann, which means that, congratulations, Stephen Moffat, you have won the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who.
Hands down.
And we share in this with you. So,
yeah.
It doesn't, to me, at this point in time, it almost doesn't even matter what happens next.
I have to agree with you. I mean, we had 7 minutes of McGann, and amazingly written McGann. Amazingly written 8th Doctor. I mean, you could tell that Moffat has listened to the Big Finish audios, because he is portrayed the exact same way he's portrayed in the audios, which is really, really nice. And of course, we did get shout-outs to all of his most of his companions out of the Big Finish line. Making Big Finish audios, I would say pretty much all Big Finish audios now, canon.
Yeah, the only thing that at this point in time isn't necessarily time canon might necessarily be the actual McGann movie. We'll see how they deal with that.
But I mean, I don't think it really matters.
It really doesn't matter. No, we're fans, so we're going to nitpick. But there isn't. I will happily say there is not much to nitpick about.
No, I think the only thing that really stands out to me was he's not dressed exactly like the new look, but we gotta understand he's been in this time war for we don't know how long.
Right.
And the other thing we did not see was his screwdriver. We saw him using one of the classic screwdrivers, but not the one that Weta had created for him. But that's totally nitpicking. Not even it doesn't affect this at all, because what we got was amazing in my opinion.
Well, the other thing you have to remember is that what we did get is what happens at the, again, spoilers, at the very end of Paul McGann's life as the Doctor. So he might have at one point in time used the Weta screwdriver. He might have used that costume, but towards the end, this is what he goes to. So we actually have a bookend. We know where he began, and we know where he more or less ends. And now they could surprise us, and they could retcon something. But we have Magan up until the point where he regenerates. Actually, let's talk about the regeneration because you made some interesting comments on that.
One thing I noticed, this is where we get the new Who regeneration, the quickening regeneration. Up until this point, we've never had it, and I think this explains it. The potion has changed the way, I don't know if it changed the way he regenerates, but it definitely has done something to give us the
energy.
The energy.
Prior to the energy, we actually had a quickening regeneration in the Eighth Doctor movie where lightning comes flying out of nowhere.
The
gurning.
But this explains why we had a metamorphosis in what we've had in regenerations where they were all sort of different to what we have now.
Russell T Davies, this is how you make a potion work in Doctor Who. Just saying. All right?
Wow, look at that low blow. Burn! He just burned him.
Well, you burn it with the eternal flame, right?
Oh my God!
Because as the Doctor will be telling us in the 50th, great men are forged in fire.
Yeah. Oh my God! I mean,
there was some fairly Moffat witticisms being planed in there, but let's go. This morning I watched it, and then I cried a little, and I watched it again. And I did a little dance, and then I watched it again, and that time I actually wrote down some notes, and I haven't watched it since about 7:30 this morning.
And if it wasn't for Drew, because I was busy doing other things this morning, I actually had not noticed. I mean, it's thanks to you that I even saw it.
Oh, yeah, but here's the thing. If you had been online for even a moment, especially on Facebook, chances are, if you're on Facebook, and you'd almost have to be, right? You're going to see it, because
you were the first.
posting.
You were the first person that posted it.
Well, let's hear it for getting up early in the morning, then.
Yes. Yeah, you were the first person.
So we get Magan, right? Fantastic. Brilliant opening. We have Magan's new look, which I'm referring to as the Middle-earth look, because if you replace that screwdriver with a sword, he looks like he could be from the Lord of the Rings. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So we get a crashing spaceship. We have Cass. Cass is wearing a bandolier, and I went, ooh, please, oh please. As I'm watching this, I'm like, oh, please don't make this random person who we've never seen again regenerate into John Hurt, because I was afraid that was going to be her turning into John Hurt. Because this is what we'll get to this. Yeah. So we find out that it is already mid-Time War.
Yes.
And that the Doctor is not taking part. He is stepping out of it, and he is trying to help people as best as he can. So he is not an active person.
Which is his normal stance.
Well, but we didn't know, and so now we have clarification that at least up until this point in time, the Doctor had stepped out. So he didn't start it, but chances are he's going to finish it.
We don't know that yet.
We don't know that yet.
We don't know, because this being the Doctor, he might have done something accidentally to start it.
Okay.
But I did like the fact that it was just like, you're a Time Lord, you're
just as bad as the Daleks.
Yeah, and the fact is, he used the line, it's bigger on the inside, and she knew instantly
what it was.
So at this point, before the Time Lords were known about, but not really, it seems like Time Lords are now as well known as the Daleks as being something bad.
Well, we have the fact that they are going to be using TARDISes or potentially Sid Rats. It would be maybe a little weird to see the Sid Rats, but there were enough references to the war games in this that maybe we'll see that.
Yeah.
She deadlocks him, so we get yet another deadlock to move the plot forward. She says some of the universe is standing. So then we get a crash, okay? Because, we'll move to the back of the ship. Why? Because it's the front of the ship that crashes first. They land on Karn!
Yes!
So we get on Karn. So, of course, if you remember from the classic episode, The Brain of Morbius, Karn and the Sisters of the Flame, who we see references to in the Capaldi first appearance of the Fires of Pompeii.
Which I wonder if we're not going to get a Mobius reference in the 50th now.
Hey, the Big M, who knows? That could very plausible. It's really interesting because, in the Brain of Morbius, we have those questionable regenerations that the Doctor isn't really the first generation. The Hartnell was not the first iteration of the Doctor. And again, I think pretty much we're going to be retconning that, but Moffat seems to be going, you know what, all of Who, doesn't matter what it is, even the smallest detail, it's canon. Let's just bring it. And when we start talking about how Moffat affects the Doctor Who as a series, we're going to add this as just another tick that's just going to be like, wow, really? Okay, so, we have Karn. We have the Sisters of Karn. I don't even remember what they say, what does hang on means. I don't even remember. It's been like a really busy day.
Yeah.
So the flame of utter boredom.
Yes.
So eternal life apparently is not something he wants to get onto. We have another potion, right?
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, the sisters have basically given you these options, going, "Hey, you can be whatever you want." And the first option is fat or tall. We have man or woman, so once again, they are giving us an option for male and female, but not a regeneration, it's something outside the regeneration.
And honestly, that didn't bother me.
Well,
because it was something different.
It is something different, yeah. Angry or something.
Yeah,
you know,
young or old.
Yeah, young or old, so you can do whatever you want, and he just goes...
And for me, that's all War Games references there.
It's
all War Games when they're saying, choose.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to choose, and we get that great Troughton moment. Yeah, this is a very war game heavy reference in this one. All right, so they refer to him as the man who will not fight. They call him the good man.
Yeah.
I like it. So for him, the Doctor means the good man, and of course we know the good man goes to war, so it brings that back kind of full circle, so I think that's another really cool thing. But what's very cool about that is I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't get a reference to Demon's Run, maybe in the 50th, because if his character is called the Good Man prior to the appearance of Matt Smith on Demon's Run, then who's to say? He removes the bandolier and then promptly puts it back on her body, but we also now know where William Hurt, we'll get to who William Hurt is in just a moment, we know where he gets the bandolier. He chooses warrior.
Yeah.
He chooses warrior. He's decided that the Doctor is no longer needed. It is time for him to intervene.
And I think this is interesting because I think it goes back to the Fires of Pompeii. She knew what he was going to choose before he chose it. Like, it was almost prophesized, or she knew ahead of time, because I made this one myself.
Yeah.
You know, it's like she knew he was going to choose, which might be sort of referencing Fires of Pompeii with the premonitions and stuff like that. You know, just throwing that out there.
I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
And, you know, Doctor Who is traditionally a science explains all, but it's also been, especially involving with the Third Doctor, and then again with the psychic paper, it has accepted psychic phenomena.
Yeah.
And if psychic phenomena can be explained as being a part of Rift energy, and again, go see Brain of Morbius, the Sisters of Karn, the Sister of Flame, they rival the Time Lords. I'm not saying that they're equal to the Time Lords, but they are actually Time Lords rivals in many aspects.
You know what? This just hit me. Is Big Finish has done audios with the sisters.
Yes.
And they've really expanded the mythos. And again, this is Moffat having listened to those audios and making them somewhat canon, or making them canon because they're Magan episodes.
Yes.
And it's all this sort of stuff right here.
And
it's just hitting me because we're talking about this. I'm thinking about it because I've listened to most of them. I'm just like, oh my, this is. I love you, Moffat, and thank you.
Well, I'll wait until thank you for bringing back Magan. I loved seeing that. We'll see what you do with the 50th before you get my stamp of approval for that episode.
Right. I'm talking
all right,
this.
so he is given the potion. He goes to drink it. He asks specifically, will it hurt?
I think that's just a coincidence, but...
So what you're saying is Stephen Moffat wrote that line and it didn't occur to him? You think he wrote that completely... Stephen Moffat wrote that line and didn't possibly imagine that it had anything to do with William Hurt. I'm going to say that he may have not meant it that way, but he was aware of it. He certainly was aware of it. And of course, we have this wonderful moment and a kind of, like you said, we are bringing the Big Finish audio and the comics from Doctor Who magazine back into quote-unquote canon here. And we also have a reference kind of to Curse of Fenric, where the Seventh Doctor repels the Hemivores by quoting all the names of his companions, which bring him faith, but he is saying goodbye. And what I find fascinating is it's Magan specifically talking to his companions, not just, he doesn't say Sarah Jane, he doesn't say, Ace. So I think that's very cool. It's a good thank you to Magan. He doesn't mention Amazing Grace, though technically Grace isn't really a companion.
Well, I think it's saying thank you to Big Finish for carrying the torch, for
Absolutely.
during I guess what they call it, the prairie years,
the wilderness years.
Wilderness years. I mean, this is honestly to me Moffat saying thank you.
I agree, and I think if you look at from January until now, it has been a very Who light year. We've been promised. Remember, this is not the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who. Okay, starting November 24th, that will be the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who. We are in the year leading up to it. We're making a big to-do, and it has been a light year, but everything that they're throwing at us in the last couple of days has been really making up for it.
Yeah.
And admittedly, hold on to this, people. Hold on fast to this, because in 1 week we get the 50th anniversary. Actually, sorry, in 1 week we're going to get, in a day we're going to get Adventures in Space and Time.
Yes.
Followed the next by the 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
Followed 2 days later by the re-release of the 50th anniversary in theaters for a single night where you can watch it in 3D. Come and join us.
Yeah.
Then we get less than a month, right? A little slightly more than a month. We get Christmas special,
Yeah.
and then
Regeneration.
we don't know. Well, Regeneration, but what I'm saying is, as far as new episodes go, it may be until August before we get them again. So really, we're taking it, we're absorbing it. Couple interesting things. He says, "Physician, heal thyself."
Yeah.
Good doctor reference,
Yeah.
not bad. There is a flash on his left arm of a silver bracelet, unexplained as far as I know. So if you're an audio fan and you know what that is,
Wait,
please
bracelet? What wrist?
I believe it's the left wrist.
That's Pertwee.
Yeah?
That's a reference to Pertwee.
Is it?
Yeah, Pertwee had, especially when he did the fan stuff.
Uh-huh.
I think that might have been his medical alert bracelet, but he always wore a bracelet on his wrist.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, possibly. I mean, now that you bring that up, I didn't catch that. I have to look at the style.
He reaches in. It's a close up on the hand. You see the bracelet.
Is it silver?
It's silver. It comes back out, and you don't see it anymore. But
that could be Pertwee.
It could be. And then he gets a drink.
Yeah.
We don't see what happens to him, but we get a reflection
Yeah.
of a young John Hurt,
Yeah.
possibly from some of his early Shakespearean movies.
Or actually, with the technology now, with the way they DH and re-age people, it easily could have been that.
It could have.
Yeah.
And then it says, introducing John Hurt as the
War Doctor!
He is the War Doctor. Once again, another reference, most likely, to the War Games where we have both the War Chief and the War Lord.
Good call. I didn't catch that. One thing you did not mention, which I'm actually surprised about, is the TARDIS doors.
That's true. So whose TARDIS is it?
I don't know. I want to go back and look at McCoy's and McGonn's last one, because it's all white windows. Mm-hmm. It definitely has seen combat. It has seen damage. It has it's escaped stuff. So all we know about now, Hertz or the War Doctor's TARDIS is it's in that crash. Mm-hmm. We don't know what's happened to it.
You're right. I didn't even think about that. The TARDIS gets beat up so often. I'm going to assume that Hurt gets back into it, because we see in the 70-second long trailer that came out last week, we actually got a chance to see Hurt come out of a TARDIS. Right. But it's blurry, so you can't see what it is.
So I mean, it's kind of interesting. We what interior are we going to get? I mean, are we going to go straight into the Ninth Doctor? Are we going to get another one? Or
is it going to be wibbly wobbly?
Or are we going to get the McGonn proper interior TARDIS? I mean, we really don't know. It's kind of exciting.
I am thrilled to find out in 10 days or so.
No, 9.
9 days.
9, because this is the Eccleston Day. Because they've been showing different pictures of the Doctors.
Oh, it's counting down?
Yeah.
Counting
so
down.
Yeah, we're on 9.
So, now that we've talked for more than the actual prequel came out.
Wow.
Anything else you want to add before we...
Oh my God. No, I mean, honestly, I started off with a bad day. My drink exploded all over myself. I come into work. I see this message from Drew. I watch it, and I'm just like, this has made my day. Yeah. This has absolutely made my day for being a Whovian, for the build up to the 50th. This was, I mean, I felt like this is the opening barrage.
Now, I know that we probably want to close this down, but do you want to briefly mention the Adventures of Time, Space and Time?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
It was a pretty straightforward trailer, teaser. Just going over a brief summary from almost the beginning to the end of, I think, what the documentary is going to be about.
Yeah, it was good. We got we got a 10th planet, a web planet.
Yeah.
We get Dalek Invasion of Earth.
Yeah.
And we got the Daleks episode have all been shown, just very briefly, flashes of them. We have Bradley as Hartnell talking.
And
We've got
wow.
he's so good.
Wow.
He's so good. Just so you folks know, for the special edition version of Adventures of Space and Time, they are going to be part of the VAM. The value-added material is going to be extended scenes that they have redone for the movie. So, for instance, Hartnell's goodbye to Susan is going to be in there. The regeneration is going to be in there, and they are going to essentially reenact some classic scenes from Who.
And I'll say this: I would love to see the actress they have playing Karen Ford, the guy playing the First Doctor. I would love to see them do some adventures together that predate An Unearthly Child, because they're so spot on, they're so amazing, they sound incredible. I would love to see them. I want to see their adventures in the TARDIS.
I don't know what their schedules are like.
Yeah.
But I imagine that if there was enough fan call for it, and BBC, well, I don't know. BBC, I don't know what you're thinking. Sometimes I wonder if you realize what a gold mine you have in your hands, or if you think, hey, we've produced it cheap so far. If we just keep on producing fairly cheaply, we'll make more of a profit. But if they had that, I certainly would have no problems with that.
So what do you think of it?
The teaser trailer, I've seen it once, and it was very spotty, but I can't imagine being any more excited. To be honest, now that Magan has been shown, I can't tell you which one I'm more excited to see. I think Adventures in Space and Time, I might actually be, because there was that hope that Magan would show up in the 50th.
Yeah.
He's already out there.
Yeah.
If they add more, that's great, but now that I know he's out there,
Yeah.
I think I might actually be the docudrama that I'm the most excited about.
Until after the docudrama, then you'll be excited about the 50th
Yes,
again.
exactly correct.
I'm the same way. Whatever we get next is the thing I'm most excited for. And honestly, I'm really curious now. What are they going to show us
Tomorrow night.
For
the they're calling it Red Button, but I guess it's the
it's the
they used to call it Red Nose Day, and it's called
it used to be Children in Need.
Children in Need, yeah. So it's basically whatever they're calling Children in Need. We are going to be getting a scene called
I don't know anymore.
Last Day.
No, we've already had Last Day.
What was the last day?
we had night. No,
Night of the Doctor.
We had night. We had day. They keep punting the same title. That's the problem.
Anyway, we're getting something else. We know that some doctors are going to be involved. The teaser, of course, for Night of the Doctor is a doctor is going to be involved, but who is it going to be? Tennant, Smith, Hurt? Question mark? It doesn't matter.
And it was a question mark.
Yeah, so that's good.
I think that's everything.
I'm ecstatic. I would like to go now and watch the episode.
Yes.
For the 5th time. Or
so this is GPR signing off until next time. Peace.